right, what's going on, New Era Sens fans? This is Jacob and Jack, and we're back with another post-game coverage for, what's today? That was January 31st, and we played the Edmonton Oilers, lost 8-3. There was a lot of progress made that game. It was not as bad as the last ones that we've watched, but it was still our 8th loss in a row, and it's getting pretty tiring, so...
It's definitely a lot easier to watch losses like this when they're putting up 5 goals, but it sucks because the Oilers had 5 in the first. So
yeah, it was
kind of defeats the purpose, and yeah.
Well, we saw Matt Murray get pulled 7 minutes in, and I think it was good for him to get pulled that early. Don't want to ruin his confidence. That was 3 tough goals to give up. None of them I would really put the blame just on Matt Murray.
No.
Some of those you want the save out of, but a lot of them were just good chances by Edmonton.
He was hot. Like, he was mad when he went back to the bench. I don't know if you noticed that, but
he was.
That's good. I like that because, man, it's got to be so frustrating for him. It's not even that he's playing poorly. The numbers reflect that he's been awful, right?
Yeah.
And, a lot of them, it's not his fault, whatever, but I'll get into it. I've got that tweet I was gonna bring up. I'll bring that up in a second because I think that speaks to the overall problem of what is wrong with the team.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the first period, I stopped taking notes after the first because it was kind of
so
a wash.
Much going on.
There was just so much going on, and it was like they kept scoring. And the main thing I have is that the PK is absolutely atrocious.
It is. I think this would have been a 4-2 game if it was all 5-on-5.
Yep. Yeah, it would have. And a 4-2, Sens had 2 power play goals in total. The Oilers had 4. Yeah. So it would have been 4-3.
Yeah. So
at the end of it.
Yeah, even better.
Which is a completely different result, right?
Yeah, we can look at some stats here real quick.
Perfect.
On Yahoo. And so we see Matt Murray gets pulled after 9 shots and let 3 goals in, 7 minutes of ice time. That's just not what you want to see out of Matt Murray.
No.
Like I said, they're not all his fault, but you want some of those to be saves. And Marcus Hogberg didn't do much better. 5 goals allowed on 22 shots.
That's so brutal. That's not goaltending. That's throwing a player in net and seeing what happens.
Yeah,
honestly,
Tim Stützle could have been in nets tonight, and we could have. Yeah.
So, it's kind of the stuff that just we talked about this before too. It's deflating as a fan. I can't even imagine as a player how annoying that would be.
Matt Murray knows he's not playing great hockey right now.
Yeah.
And again, we did mention that before. We're not telling you all everything that he doesn't know. He knows that he needs to be better and whatnot.
This is no secret.
Yeah.
But it's the stuff that you think that we're not accustomed to with having Craig Anderson. Anderson has been, for the last few years, was just solid usually, and he was able to make 40 saves a night if he had to, right? Which kept them in hockey games. And, now the Senators' blue line is brutal, especially tonight when you're missing your top defenseman. And I'd argue tonight points to why Shabbat might be one of the most valuable players in the league, low key, because, man, just when McDavid and Draisaitl were out there, and I was saying, I've been thinking about this as soon as they announced the Canadian division, I'm like, I am not looking forward to having to play the Oilers 8 times or 9 times in a season. So
yeah, I'm almost glad Shabbat wasn't in tonight because I don't want to see him look bad against them.
I agree, but it's just when he's out there, he would have been exposed defensively probably a couple times, but just even the power play, I am sick of watching Mike Riley play hockey, and I don't, that's. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. He was just...
And Mike Riley here led our team on defense in ice time tonight with 21 minutes and 21 seconds.
Yeah.
Erica Branson right behind him with 20 minutes and 26 seconds. Right there with Zaitsev at 20 minutes and 10 seconds. Artem Zub didn't play a whole lot, but he looked okay at times. He looked slow at times.
Yeah.
He hasn't played hockey yet this year.
Right.
It's
I think
been
you
a
got to
while.
give them the benefit of the doubt that way, right? He hasn't
100%.
played in the longest time. I thought Gabranson it was just a gong show back there, and I think when you look at the rebuild in as a whole, the forwards are more ready, let's say, than the defensemen are. Like even in Belleville right now, if you take Brandstrom out of the equation, there isn't really anyone who you're like, you know what, he's ready to come up and make a difference. Like you've got Bernard Docker, Sanderson, and I guess Thompson, if you want to say, that are all haven't played a game for the organization yet.
Yeah.
So it's not an overnight fix, which sucks.
And that's the thing. A lot of
defense.
people are wondering why Brandstrom isn't up on the team yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree that Brandstrom would be better than most of these defensemen. But
Yeah.
Brandstrom is not going to help the fact that we just let in 8 goals.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the goals, though, we can. You want to? Let's just bring it up. I think we've got a shot chart down on this thing, right? If you scroll a little bit, I think I saw one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Shot chart right here.
So this is obviously all shots and stuff, but I can't really share my screen, but at 5-on-5, which we mentioned, this is after the second period. And natural stat trick is like a big analytic study, and they post stats for every game. So at the intermission in the second, the 5-on-5 high danger chances were 11-0 for Ottawa.
Yeah.
Right?
That's ridiculous.
So the Oilers still had four even strength goals at that point, I believe. Maybe not. I'm probably. So yeah, they had 8 goals.
Yeah.
They had 4 even strength. Yeah, they were 4 for 4 on the. Or sorry,
on
they had 4 even strength and 4 power play goals.
Yeah.
So their 4 goals at even strength were not from high danger areas. Those cannot be going into net. Right?
No, not at all.
It's stuff like that that's killing this team. So again, the PK obviously kills them, but that to me is where I'm like, they need saves, and that's the biggest problem. You start building a team from the net, and then you work on your special teams, and then it should go right. The Oilers are actually a perfect example. I think last year they had the best power play in the league. It was before the pause. I know they had the best power play, and I'm pretty sure their PK was top 5 in the league. But they were still not a good team because they didn't have goaltending, and they still don't, obviously, by tonight shows, right?
Yeah, and having Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith is not going to help you win games.
No.
I just dropped Mikko Koskinen in my fantasy because he was just bringing me down more than anything. And Stuart Skinner as your third goalie, that was his first NHL game. He was just kind of thrown in the rough with Mike Smith being out at the beginning of the season. It was a good opportunity for Stuart Skinner to play. That's all I really have to say. Yeah,
and he looked just shaky, but he's young, and it's not going to be the end of the world, obviously. But just stuff like that, and it's kind of shocking, and it feels like that's been the story with Ottawa every game, is that they feel like they're dominating, not even dominating, but just the better team in terms of actual possession. So I'm not sure how familiar people are with all the analytics. So Corsi 4 just basically means the puck's on their stick, essentially.
Yeah.
So Ottawa was at 65% the puck on their stick, and Edmonton 34.4 or whatever. But right. So that's a 5-on-5, and this is with 2 of the best players in the world on the other side. Right. The puck was always on the Ottawa stick.
That was the thing. Our offense could keep up.
It could, and it for the most part did, right? Yeah. 2 power play goals, like that's the biggest positive I think tonight, is that the offense found its legs. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Like 5 goals is as much as they've had in like the last 5 games.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So that's the biggest bonus. It's and it was the important players scoring, like other than Watson, I guess. It was White, Kachuk, Batherson, Stützle getting on the board.
Yeah, 4 guys that I want to see on the board more often too.
Yeah. So and I think in the last couple of days too, DJ Smith did a lot of media stuff, and he's talking like, in the division we ran the analytics. If we're somewhere like we're third in the division in terms of how many goals we should be scoring based on the analytics, and he's not wrong, because in this game at 5-on-5, before, like, this is the second intermission, obviously. the expected goals for the Sens based on all their high danger chances were 79%, and the Oilers are at 20.
Yeah.
Right?
We need to capitalize more, and
They
I
do.
think we have a lot of guys that have the capability of putting up a lot of points. We just don't have the guys that can finish them, and that's what we brought Dadonov in to do, but he's just not doing it.
And I was watching with one of my friends tonight, but he's like quarantining in New Brunswick right now, but so he's FaceTiming me and he's watching the cable feed, so he's ahead.
Okay.
And I'm watching the stream, so it's a bit behind, and he was just celebrating every goal a little bit earlier saying this. So I wasn't really watching that way, I guess. I knew what was happening, but when they in the third period when they scored their 2 goals, and then I think Dadonov's chance was like 2 minutes after that. If he buries that, it's 8-6 with 7 minutes to go. You know? He was brought in to do that, and he's not doing it.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think he's been the biggest disappointment so far. The rest of the acquisitions in the offseason. So, sorry, I'm going on a bit of a tangent. I feel like every night I'm ranting as if it's like the big rant in this losing streak and it's going to end soon or whatever, but we keep going. So here we are, right? These analytic stats about the 5-on-5 high danger stuff, that's not, their blue line isn't affecting that. Like, that's good, and their blue line's helping that probably, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks terrible, but these stats aren't reflecting it hurting them.
Yeah.
And if the goals are coming from outside of high danger areas, then that's not on the defenseman. Maybe they're screening them, but it's not the defenseman's fault. So you can say, oh, the acquisitions in the offseason aren't working out. Like, Dorion messed up this team. This is a garbage team. Yes, but it's not all the acquisitions that are doing that. They're generating offense. They're just not burying. And it's just the goaltending. The goaltending has not been there at all. They've had one game, and I said this last time, but it keeps being true. They've had one game where their save percentage as a team was over 900.
Yeah, that's not enough.
That's not going to do the trick. In the AHL, that's not going to get it done.
No.
So, yeah.
So, yeah. Kind of staying on the same as that. I'm looking at our forwards here. Chris Tierney, 57% on the faceoffs with.
He's improved. Improved.
That's what we needed the most. Faceoffs, and I think 3 of our goals in the first 2 periods, or 3 goals against, from Edmonton, they came right off a faceoff.
I can count. I remember 2 for sure. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
it was Neil and then the first one. Yeah, Draisaitl there or whoever shot that.
Yeah, so we need guys like Tierney to keep doing this. The last couple games, he's been 33%, 30%, and it's just unacceptable. And some other big face-off guys, Josh Norris down to 36%.
Yeah, he's had a couple bad games there.
But he's had a couple good games, so he's allowed to kind of have an off game, I think.
Yeah.
Same as Colin White. We don't expect him to be coming in right now and being the best centerman on the team.
No.
He's just kind of getting back used to the tempo of the game. And, I mean, this is a tough team to go against. You're going against either Connor McDavid, one of the best players in the league, Leon Draisaitl, one of the second best players in the league, and Kyle Turris, who's a good seasoned centerman. He knows what he's doing. Yeah,
he is, yeah.
And so for such a young team like this to be going up against that, I don't know. Face-offs is a really hard thing.
And I mean, sorry, I'm just trying to look at face-off stuff here for the Oilers.
Yep.
Yeah, like McDavid, 57% on the draws. Nugent Hopkins, 75%. Turris, 45%.
Draisaitl, 76.
Yeah.
With 25 face-offs taken.
Draisaitl went 19-6.
Wow.
That's 6. What a game for him. What a player.
6 points, 6 assists, and almost 20 face-off wins out of 25.
He was 1 assist off the record.
Yep. Wayne Gretzky hit 7 assists 3 times.
Oh, hey, this team they're going to play the Sens 8 more times this year, so
I'm not excited for it either. So yeah, that's pretty much I just wanted to use this and show some stats here.
I think we always use them, so it's good that we're pulling them up, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Good for the visuals. And like everybody sees here, I'm looking over in the comments and I see some people talking about how Stepan had more time than Stützle, which is unacceptable, which we didn't mention. So it's good that you can see each other's.
Yes. We have a lot of comments. All right, boys. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't even know.
We can just get to we can go to the comments to the step on with more ice time than Stützle. If you click it, oh yeah, perfect.
So B Fudge is talking about how Stefan had more ice time than Stützle, and that he's sick of seeing Stefan on the power play. And I agree. I don't see a reason that Stefan's in this lineup over Galchenyuk, especially with him on the power play.
Yeah, Stepan, I honestly like. To be fair, tonight I thought was probably one of his best games all season.
Oh, I agree.
And he was even. That's good.
Yep.
The plus-minus numbers actually look really good for everyone.
They do,
but because they have 5 goals.
Yeah, and I don't think power play goals or shorthanded goals count on that.
Penalty goal doesn't count.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're on the ice for a power play, it's not a plus, and if you're on the ice for a penalty kill and it's a goal, it's not a minus. Yeah. So that, I guess that kind of adds up to that. I am also sick of seeing Stepan on the power play, except tonight when he was out there, he was with Dadonov. I think Dadonov was just, I'm getting so tired of watching him play. Like, he's kind of skating around like, oh, I've got, I'm hot, and when you're hot, you shoot everything and do this, and like you can skate with the puck however you want. But he's not hot. He has 1 goal, and it was a fluke. So I'm not sure why he's got that mentality, and obviously he's the guy who's got the proven pedigree of being a goal scorer, so he'll snap out of it eventually. That's what they'll say. Like, and when he is hot, maybe he buries that other one that he missed today.
Sure. And maybe if he's like, Dadonov isn't a player that we expected to have, what's this, game 9, we expected him to have 4 or 5 goals already, and that's what he should have. Like, there's
what he was brought here to do.
Yeah, that's why he's paid $5 million a year.
Exactly. And Stepan was okay on the power play. It's tough because you want to see like Stützle out there or Norris. I don't know who they took off, but I didn't actually mind him out there because every time he was out there, they had possession of the puck and he'd gut it to the point, all that stuff. But the deployment of Stützle has been interesting. He was a -2, so out there again, for those goals which you don't like to see. I think people are, when you have good goaltending, every decision that coaches and GMs make look great, right?
Yeah.
So it's so hard to judge Stützle like defensively when he's not making blatant mistakes. I think the last goal that the Oilers scored, he was behind the net and gave it away, and then they back of the net, boom.
Yeah.
Even there, So it was that one timer to Yamamoto, right?
Oh yeah.
I think that was the last one. That was I lost track, but I think that was the 8th one. Great pass by Draisaitl, great shot, but still Hogberg has to have that.
Yeah, he does.
No screen.
Hogberg didn't make the saves we needed him to make tonight.
No. So that's why I think it's tough to judge that kind of stuff. But anyways, to answer that question, I guess I am also sick of seeing him because I'd rather see the kids out there.
Batherson and Jimmy Superstar together, I loved it. I think that Stützle, Tierney, and Batherson were one of the best lines that we had tonight. We had a lot of people moving tonight. We had Tkachuk was probably the most noticeable forward that we had.
Tkachuk's a beast.
He is, but that line with Tierney centering it played very well tonight, and Tierney got his first assist of the season. He hasn't been an offensive force or anything, but he fit pretty well with that. And I said last time that I'd like to see Norris center that line, but I think Tierney did a pretty good job. I think Tkachuk would do better with Tierney just because Tkachuk can make a play out of anything. Mm-hmm. And having that offensive guy like Norris on that line would be good, but I think it works.
I think you said it was you who said it on Twitter that Tkachuk is over the. So we've got the top 4 forwards. Let's say it's Stützle, Tkachuk, Batherson, and Norris. Yeah. Of those 4, Tkachuk is best suited on his own line because he'll drive play regardless, right? Yeah.
Anybody can be on. He could be on that line with Paquette and Watson, and they'll score goals.
Exactly. So I do agree. I like the way the lines are set up. I'm not gonna lie. I do. It's tough because I don't want to mess with Dadonov, Paul, and White. But if Dadonov if he keeps going down, you got to move something around.
You
So
got
I'd even consider putting, White, Paul, or Kachuk. No, wow, Paul, Tierney, and Brown back together because they were great.
Yeah, that was a great line.
Keep them as like that third line stapled there, and then that top six you can kind of mess around with it. And I wrote an article about them keeping the top line together of like Kachuk, Batherson, and Norris, and I think that's a mistake to keep them together.
Yeah. And not because they're not playing well, they're just not producing.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't share the wealth, right?
Yeah.
So I loved Batherson and Stutzel together. So they're so creative, right? It's just fun to watch. And I think so I don't like JD a bunch of numbers, that's the it's the username, but yeah, I love that combo.
Yeah, I agree. Jammy, who I also want to give a quick shout out to for making this awesome background.
Yes.
Did an excellent job with it.
Great.
Thank you very much. He wants to know who comes out when Shabbat's healthy. I can't see it being anybody but Riley. But at the same time, he played 21 minutes tonight. He obviously, DJ Smith saw something. He wasn't the worst defenseman we had tonight. I think Coburn was the worst defenseman, maybe even Goodbranson. But I don't know. They're all just kind of plateaued at the same. I don't really want them here.
I think the only two that are safe are Goodbranson and Zaitsev for some reason, because those are like the only two that haven't been pulled out yet.
Yep.
Goodbranson looked tough on the PK, took a couple bad penalties, but he's a +1. Coburn was also a +1.
I know.
But yeah, the big boys struggled, and they're going to continue to struggle. I think when Shabbat's ready to come back, I think Riley is a good bet because Shabbat's going to do what Riley's doing, but just 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough to say because it's like pick your poison in a bad way, right? Like who do I want to keep in?
I think Zub gets another chance. I
hope he does.
He earned a spot on the roster for the next game, but I think, especially with Wolanin and Shabbat out, he definitely gets the next game if they're not back.
Yeah.
But I think he has the potential to stay over Coburn and Riley for Shabbat and Wolanin to come back.
Yeah. I think Wolanin, they said it was week, like he'll be back in a week or something.
Yeah.
So not super long term. Shabbat's labeled day to day, but so is Stutzel. And he missed 3 games. Yeah. I hope to God Shabbat is back. They showed the replay though of that injury, and watching it again,
it looks much worse tonight.
But the way like his knee just kind of moved into the post, man.
Yeah. It like went right above the knee pad. He
got so lucky. If they're only saying it's day to day, that's nuts because that looked like a torn ACL to me.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. But I've given up. Whatever combination you have on D with Shabbat is fine as long as he's in there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a defenseman on our team that I don't want playing with Thomas Shabbat.
No, honestly.
Mike Riley, but he's a left defenseman, so that's not going to happen anyway.
And the thing is, too, like Shabbat has shown he can play 27 plus minutes a night. Do it. So just throw him out there. He played, I will never forget this, that way back in the World Juniors when he was like MVP. It's probably one of the best World Junior performances by a Canadian player in recent memory, for me anyways.
Yep.
He played 40 minutes in that gold medal game.
Yep.
I'll never forget that. He's an absolute workhorse. So he can, I think he played 36 minutes in a game last year or something like that.
He did.
Set the record or whatever it was, but he's a workhorse, and I think you can throw him out there now, and you should.
He is, and I don't think it hurt him last year when he was playing the 30 minutes every game on top of each other. It fed him. He wanted to do that by the looks of things. So throw him back out there because we need it. Well,
and watching the Canucks, they have like their first power play was great, right? But when the first power play comes off, Hughes stayed out there.
Yeah.
I don't know why they can't do that with Shabbat either. I mean, maybe if Lulan is there and even like eventually when Brandstrom gets going, hopefully if he ever does, then he'll run that second unit. But I don't see why you can't keep Shabbat out there for the full 20 or for the full 2 minutes. I mean,
I think
power plays.
Shabbat's more than capable of it. So
for sure. Yeah.
Do you want to kind of quickly move into the goals and kind of how those transpired?
Yeah, let's just do the Sens goals.
Yeah, that's what
Just
I mean.
because there were, okay.
So we started off the game with a couple Oilers goals, but then Colin White comes in and scores his first of the season. It shouldn't have been a goal. It was, in my opinion, it was definitely a high stick.
Yeah.
But I'll take it, and I'm sure Colin White will take it as well. He managed to pick up a couple assists later on too. So
I think it was the same as the Hyman goal in that first game that counted. Yeah. It's tough because it's one of those things. If they don't have conclusive evidence, and obviously you can see White jump, you can make the assumption, but they're not allowed to make assumptions. Exactly. Right? So they have to see it. And honestly, in that angle, you can't see where his stick hits the puck. Yeah. So he got away with one, but that's the kind of bounce that they needed. And they end up scoring 5 goals tonight because they were getting bounces like that.
Which we haven't gotten all year. Like, we haven't gotten a single bounce, and it's been frustrating. No.
Yeah. And that's the last game against Vancouver was positive because they pretty much dominated the whole thing. This one's positive because they were able to put the puck in the net so much. And the right players did it. I think we mentioned that before.
Yeah, exactly. Other than Watson, like, our top 4 was arguably our top 4 forwards just put the pucks in the net.
It's perfect.
That second goal by Brady Tkachuk, that was, I don't know how I felt about it. Obviously, it was nice to see them get on the board to make it 5-1, I think it was at that point.
It's 5-2, yeah.
Or 5-2, sorry. Yeah. He came in all by himself on that right and just pushed right in and put it right between the legs.
It was a great shot, great play. He kind of used Norris as like a moving screen, which is nice. Smart. Yeah. If anyone knows how to shoot through a screen, it's Tkachuk because he's always the screen, right? So
yeah, he knows where they're going to be and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I really liked him tonight, and that was a great play. Zub got his first point there.
Yep.
Yeah, that was just good all around.
Yeah, he was great positioning on that to get himself into a position to shoot. So
yeah, for sure.
The Batherson goal, that was nice.
Yeah, so that one I same kind of thing. I feel like he shot it in the same spot as Tkachuk, almost on like the glove side there, and I think Watson's later in the game was the same spot too. So Skinner's a little weak up there,
right past the ear of Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, I really like. We've been saying this Batherson's due, right? And maybe this gets him going a little bit.
I hope
hopefully. So. It was a great shot by him.
Yeah, I think if Batherson has more experience than he has in the NHL right now, he has at least 6 goals right now.
Yeah, he was just a bit snake bitten, and he couldn't he got robbed, right? And it's you run into a soft goalie once, and maybe he finds a groove.
Yeah, exactly. Now he knows kind of the feel of how to shoot. And
exactly, yeah.
What to look for now. And then that Tim Stützle goal. Oh my God,
that was the next one.
That was a beautiful goal.
Oh yeah.
He came in down that left side, and he wanted that. You could just see as soon as he entered the zone that he was going to score that.
It's one of those goals where you think immediately you're like, wow, goalie should have had that. But I love those slow motion angles, and you could see like that was a really, really deceptive release. Yeah, because the way he pulled it in to shoot first, I think the puck was on his toe.
Yeah,
which is not where you shoot the puck from. Like it was not, but some players do, I guess. Now the snipers, I don't know, but the way he pulled it in made it look like he was going to shoot far post kind of, and low, and then he slingshots it top shelf. Like, man,
it was a gorgeous shot.
That's a superstar goal right there.
Yeah, and
good for him to get back on the board. Hopefully, and I mean, he scored his first goal, and then he was injured for 3 games, so he didn't really get to build on it. But I'm hoping he gets to build on it now. He was healthy at the end of the game, but yeah.
And then Watson, it was very shortly after that Stützle goal.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looked like he just kind of flipped it on net, and it just happened to go over the shoulder of Stewart, or Skinner, sorry. And it wasn't anything special. It didn't change any momentum of the game. It could have, but it didn't.
Austin Watson has been everything that he should be.
Yeah,
we've been saying this whole losing streak. He's been the guy that has brought it every night. And I like Paquette actually tonight. Like, I don't know if people want to hear that, but
he did play pretty well.
He was mixing it up a bit, throwing the body around. Like, it was just kind of stuff that was missing. And it's like, that's what a 4th line player is. He's great on faceoffs. Yeah, Watson just tied for the team lead in goals with Kachuk.
Yeah.
Don't know if I would have expected that, but
No, not at all.
we'll take it, right? This is just get the legs going for everyone.
Yeah,
That's what you
so
want.
try and wrap this up kind of quickly. We have a couple more comments to go through here.
Yes.
Dadonov needs to be sat out and Galchenyuk up for a bit. I don't hate this idea. I think they're the same player. They bring the same kind of expectations in with them.
Mhm.
Galchenyuk, just a sniper, only going to score you goals,
Yeah.
if anything. And at this point, that's all Dadonov has been, and he hasn't been scoring goals. So I
They have
think,
the same amount of goals this season.
yeah, I think Galchenyuk and Dadonov could switch spots easily in this lineup and make Dadonov fight his way back in. He just signed that $5 million contract. You don't want to have to scratch the guy.
Mhm.
But I think that's justifiable.
I think sitting out, I don't know, because he hasn't been playing like terribly. Like he's really good along the walls, like the half wall. The way he protects the puck and does all this. I like his puck possession, but I feel like he's trying to do too much.
Yeah.
I don't know who needs to sit him down and just talk to him, but I don't know if I'd throw Galchenyuk in his spot. Galchenyuk had that really great first game. He was flying at his legs, but
Yep.
since then, I think he's played 2 games, maybe
I think
2 or 3.
I think he's only has a total of 2 games, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I feel like he played 2 on like 1 against Winnipeg on the road and then 1 against Vancouver.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
But regardless, I don't think he showed anything in those 2 games. I don't think he was that good.
Yeah.
He is probably the next guy to come in. I like that Anisimov has been sitting for the last like 2-3 games because that's where he belongs. He's played like absolute trash. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'd do that. I just want to see Dadonov still be on there, but just maybe less of a role and stop putting so much pressure on himself. It looks like he's doing.
Yeah. And yeah, I think there's some simple mistakes that could be fixed, but time will come. Do you make any roster changes for the next game outside of Shabbat if healthy? No. Unless we're bringing in a healthy defenseman in Shabbat or Wolanin, I don't change a thing.
Not me either.
Bring Decord in, let him start.
Yeah. I wouldn't touch the lineup. Like those top 9 forwards for me, just leave it like that forever.
Yep.
And distribute ice time properly among them, but I wouldn't change anything. When
that forward core is playing as good as they did tonight, that's a really deep forward core. Because I think it is. Based on time played, it would be let me see here. Chris Tierney, Tim Stützle, and Drake Batherson that played the third most, that line played the third most out of all forward lines. So that was our third line.
Technically, right.
Yeah.
So I the thing I've got here has even strength ice time, which might be a better way to
that would definitely
the lines. So Nick Paul leads the way at 15 minutes. And then you got Tierney with 13, and then White with 12.
Yeah.
And then Brown also has 12. Then a lot of 10, 11, all that. So even strength-wise, that's
solid. That's what you want.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to touch those forwards at all right now.
Me either.
And I think I feel like a lot of people are in agreement with that, and DJ seems to be too, because they're playing well. This is a goaltending and penalty kill issue.
Yep, and defense, I think. Which injuries are not helping right now, so that'll come. First off, I'm going to show Sens fan 111 asking if we put Tim Stützle back in the DEL, but then I'm going to switch here because this is a 2-part question that also has the same question. So we'll start with, do we claim D'Angelo? I don't want to get into the controversy right here with all the antics that he brought to every team he's played for. I think skill-wise, he would be a perfect fit. Ottawa is not in a great position to be bringing in controversy.
Yeah. I've never even seen him play, but he's like an offensive defenseman who struggles defensively.
Yeah.
But he's a right-handed shot. They can't bring him in because they preached, they brought in a lot of character, all this, and like he's just the complete opposite on all accounts, I guess. But hockey-wise, and especially after a game like this, it wouldn't surprise me if they did it, but I would just be like, oh my God, here we go. Like,
my standpoint is that it's hockey.
Yeah.
You gotta let the guy that's gonna play good hockey come play good hockey. Obviously, there's that stuff going around about him and Georgiev, which again I'm not going to get into because we don't know what side of the story is true or what side we're hearing.
Yeah.
But you bring that in, you bring in the talent, that'll play. You bring in that personality, you can get rid of it. Like,
yeah,
I think
the thing that's about the personality though, I feel like this is his, if he gets claimed, let's say by anyone, it's his fourth team and he's early 20s.
Yeah.
So
I 100% think that there is an issue, but
yeah,
what I'm saying is he can come in, he can score those 64 points that he was on pace for last year.
Right.
But if he brings that personality, we can just put him back on waivers, scratch him. He's only on a contract up until next year.
Yeah. I just think that he's far from DJ Smith's kind of player, and I don't believe he would get a good look. So I read like an article about him that was like just a timeline of everything that's happened, and everywhere he's gone, it's just been coaches have problem with his attitude and everything, the manner in which he acts and stuff, and that's not even including all the off ice stuff like on the Twitter and all that. Like it's a gong show that the Ottawa Senators do not need to associate themselves with. I agree. Stay as far away as possible. I
agree. Hockey wise, it would be great to bring in, but it's just so. Yeah. It's so I don't know that you.
I think it's just not worth it.
Exactly.
And what if they bring him in and then he's trash and then he has to play the rest of the season here? It's like, that's not worth it at all. Yeah. So, but Timmy to the DEL. So this is because he's at the 7 games now.
Yeah, this might have been his last game.
Yeah, I think he's here to stay. I don't think, like everyone's saying, oh, why would you burn a year of his entry level? So the debate, I guess, is this team is going to be in the basement for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Why would they waste a year of his career basement dwelling? Well, Brady Tkachuk has been on this team for 3 years now. This is his third season. Point. And they've been 30th, 31st, and 30th again. So, and look at the way he's developed. He's going to be the captain of the team. So, that's what I think is the bonus of it, I guess. He builds those relationships, He goes back to Germany, let's say, and the DEL is a step not below the AHL, but it's the AHL pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? I think that for his development, regardless of what like the season ends up being for them, him playing guaranteed games is the best case for his development.
Yeah, and that's my thoughts too. Yeah. We don't know what's going to happen in Germany for hockey.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's anything confirmed for what's going to happen for the next season in the DEL.
I think it started around the same time. It might have started in December, but then he went World Juniors and now he's here.
Oh, right,
so right. It was like delayed or something, but
yeah. But even still, like we know as fans that there's certainty here that he's going to play hockey.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and if you don't, so let's say you send him back. So he's in the DL for this season. See you in September. Then your group on forward that you're trying to build the future for, he's honestly the only new piece to this team that's like the future, right?
Yeah.
He's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like so far, which is kind of depressing a little bit. So if you take him away, what's the difference between this and last season, right?
Exactly.
Nothing at all, except for the goalie maybe.
And he's here building chemistry, whether the team sucks or not. He's here playing with the guys like Brady, like Josh Norris, like Drake Batherson, Thomas Chabot. These guys are going to be sticking around. He's not going to see those guys in Alders Mannheim again.
No, this is the team. This is where he belongs, and he's not out of place or anything. It's just the notion: do you want to give him, do you want to expose him to such a losing culture already? And I think I think yes.
Yeah, I do.
Because it shows him how hard it is to win here, and he seems like a driven kid. So, yeah.
He's one player that I haven't seen give up yet.
No, exactly. And he was throwing the body around tonight too. And,
Yep.
He looks like a guy who just hates losing as well. And you could see it in the German games when like they got blown out by Canada.
Yep.
Like he just doesn't like losing.
They lost 16-2 and he played until that last whistle.
16-2. Yeah, people are like, oh, he's losing games and stuff. He lost 16-2. Like this guy's not. This isn't the first time he's lost a hockey game, right? Yeah. So I think right here is where he belongs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick.
Yes.
We're over 40 minutes now.
We did it again. Yeah. Sorry. I got third star. I got Timmy. Just that goal was just gold. Second, I'll go Batherson. Awesome goal again. That's pretty much my reasoning for those two. And then number one, I got Brady because that guy is an absolute motor. And I said this last time. Pierre Dorion needs to hand him a blank check with the C because this guy, man, like if I'm Kachuk, I'm not staying if I have an option. And let's say if I'm Kachuk's agent in his camp, who at this point have not had talks with Dorion about an extension. Chabot's extension was already in place before his last, it was training camp last year. So Chabot's contract just kicked in this season.
Yeah.
So he already had a deal in place. But Kachuk and them haven't had discussions. You could say it's COVID, whatever. But he is the engine that drives this team already, and he's 21. If I'm Kachuk and I haven't been offered a contract, I don't know what Dorion's goal is here, but if he's playing hardball with this, he should be getting 8x8 and nothing less.
I agree. That's what I would start it at.
Exactly.
I'd be okay with giving him 8x9.5.
Exactly. Yeah, no, me too. And it's if you're not getting offered that by Dorion's company, like Keith Kachuk has been pretty vocal about he seems more involved in his kid's decision, right? Matthew Kachuk has a bridge contract.
Yeah.
A bridge contract is not going to make me satisfied. Like you got to lock, and I think the Sens feel the same, lock him in long term as long as you can. If they don't, if negotiations are not great, which it doesn't seem to go with Stone, Carlson, Duchesne, all them, Kachuk's going to walk right out the door.
Yeah.
He'll go to offer sheet, whatever, but
he'll go play with Matt.
Yeah. So that would be something.
Yeah.
But sorry, I just went on a bit of a rant there. That's my
that's fine. My 3 stars of the night, I'm going to go Drake Batherson for my 3rd star for the same reason as you. Yeah. He had a great goal. He was all over the ice tonight with Tierney and Stutzel. They played excellent. My 2nd star, I'm going to give to Brady for all the same reasons as you. He's just a monster when he's on the ice. And he was, how many shots did he have? 8 shots tonight, I think.
Yeah, he had 12 the last game.
Yeah, so that's 20 shots in the last 2 games, in which Ottawa was outscored 15-6.
Yeah.
And he had 20 shots.
He drives the offense.
Yeah. And my 1st star of the night is Colin White. He's continuously just proving his spot on the team. Yeah. And I said this, I think, in the 7-1 loss, he's done being scratched. He's a permanent part of this roster. And
I wouldn't even argue that White isn't playing up to his contract right now.
If not better.
Right? This is what he's expected to do. So maybe all he needed was a little push to do this. And if he keeps playing like this and he keeps playing with the chip on his shoulder, like, hey, I need to perform, go for it. Like, that's perfect, right?
Yep. And, so real quick, who needs to be better? I think we have the same answer.
Well, I was going to say goaltending, but then I decided to go with the penalty kill coach because that was not fun to watch.
You sound like one of the players in the Uber.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet. They said, I don't need to be in an Uber to say that this penalty kill is terrible. I don't know who said it, but it's just since Twitter's been good lately. It's fun.
It really has been.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. Goaltending or the penalty kill coach.
Yeah.
Those are just kind of the 2 weak spots. I think Hogberg needs to be better. Matt Murray, arguably those 3 goals, you're playing against 2 of the best players.
Yeah.
And those goals were pretty weak, but they were also, what chance did he have?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Hogberg definitely needs to be better. So
Who do you start next game?
Joey Decord.
Yeah, a lot of people want to see him. He wasn't great when he played, though, was he? I can't remember.
He hasn't played for us yet.
I think he started one game last year.
I'm gonna have to look that up right now.
I think it was when he went to play the puck behind the net and he fell. Was that him? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I don't think that's him. I don't think he's played in the
Okay.
Oh, no,
Okay.
You're right. He played one game in the NHL.
That was it then. It was him. Yeah, I don't think he was great. I think Buffalo. It was against Buffalo. Whoever was lit him up.
I can't actually. That was the year before last. No, it
Was
was.
it?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
18-19.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah. So maybe it's been a while. Yeah, I'd give him a chance for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, I think he's our best bet, really. And at what point do you start? I don't know. Maybe put Gustafsson on the.
I would give Murray 2 more starts. Just the road trip. They got 2 more games left. Edmonton and Montreal once.
Yeah, it would be easier to do it at home anyway. Yeah,
I would give Murray the start next game. It's his 3rd chance to bounce back. Because he did make some good saves in the first, but
he did. I mean, only 6 saves, but they were quality saves.
Yeah, they were. And none of the goals really you can be like, oh, dude, you got to have that one. But I would give him another chance. But then it's decision time after that if he doesn't have a great game. If his save percentage is over 900 in the next game, that's a win. And that is not good to be saying about a $6 million goalie. 7th highest paid in the league.
Yep.
All right. We went a long time again.
Yep. All right. Well, first off, I wanted to say thank you to everybody that joined and watched today and everybody that's watching on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe and everything. And I just also wanted to apologize to Riley for this being so long. So
sorry, Riley.
Have